Hey, everybody. Welcome to the neighborhood. How are you guys doing? I hope you're having a great and wonderful day. Well, today I wanted to talk about the universal laws. Do you kind of use the universal laws in your practice? I find myself, whether I'm aware of it or not, using a lot of the universal laws as related to the Kabbalion or the Kabbalion. Um, the universal laws, the principle of mentalism, the principle of correspondence, that there are correspondings in everything, the principle of vibration, the principle of polarity, that there are things on a or in a line of a continuum, there's a polarity to things. The principle of rhythm, the principle of cause and effect, which, if you are into the threefold law, would be kind of like karma and cause and effect. The principle of gender, and not necessarily that there is always a male and a female, but there is that female and male energy in mostly everything. And so I find myself um, kind of in one way or another blending all of these laws into my practice. And they're part of the seven hermetic principles. Um, and it just kind of, whether I realize it or not, like everything is mental, everything has to start from a thought and in your mind. The law of correspondence, there are things that correspond to this and cause one thing, and a dual effect. The law of polarity, like everything is not black and white. Sometimes there is these polar things, like magic isn't always evil or good, but they're just kind of like opposite ends of the spectrum. Those things. And when you think about it and when you relate, whether you're thinking about it or not, these principles come into our lives. It comes whether you're magical or not, they are a part of life to me. But when you add that magical correspondence, it is that, for like the law of mentalism, as above, so below, as within, so without. When you think about that, anything as above to me means spiritual. So whatever is going on spiritually also reflects into the earth realm, as above, so below, and lower. I feel like. So these principles, they do. And the principle of mentalism kind of works with all is mind. The universe is mental. Nothing would be here without some type of thought. Whatever you do takes a thought. The principle of correspondence, as above, so below. This principle embodies the truth that there is always correspondence between laws and the phenomenon in the various planes of life and being. And I am kind of looking at some notes that I had. The principle of vibration. Nothing rests. Everything is moving and vibrating at all times. And I feel that. The principle of polarity. Everything is dual. Everything has poles. One, you can, even ice or water can be cold or it can be boiling hot. Everything has a pair of opposites with the principle of polarity. Like and unlike are the same. Opposites are identical in nature but different in degree. Like I said, with water, it can be ice cold with ice or boiling hot, and it's still water, but these are different degrees of that. Extremes often meet somewhere in the middle. All truths are but half truths. This is still with the principle of polarity. And then with the principle of rhythm, everything has a flow. Everything goes in and out. It has tides. Doesn't life have it? Rises and it falls. Different times in centuries, things rose and then they fell. It's like the pendulum swing. There's manifestation, and then sometimes it swings the other way, and things are not manifesting. It's kind of seems like it's going downhill, and then there's just that kind of middle ground sometimes that we're in. The principle of cause and effect. Everything has a cause and has an effect. Everything happens according to law. Chance is but a name. So it just things will happen, and whatever you do has consequences to it, whether that's good consequences or bad, and you choose accordingly. If you've looked at the consequences and they don't matter to you, then you go with that. Then there are the principle of gender. Gender is in everything, meaning that there is that masculine and feminine energy. I see that as energy. And gender manifests on all planes of being and existence. And as I look about and think about those things, I feel like that has such an effect on every aspect of my of magic and the magic that I do. When I think about those things, there is this yin and yang. There is the cause and effect. It flows up and down. How even I manifest flows, because sometimes when I do magic, even though things manifest, it may not manifest in the way that I saw in my mind that it would, but it still manifests and it still produces the end effect of what I wanted. And even to work magic, I have to come up, what is it that I'm trying to do? Why do I want it? What is the outcome of what I'm doing, and why am I doing? That's mental, It has to come from some thought form. Different aspects of magic work with a thought form. Some people do work with a thought form and make that a reality for them. Basically, when you think about when you're making a sigil, basically you're working with the words that were thought, and then you brought them to manifest something. So that's my take on it. Just wanted to talk about the relationship of those 7 hermetic principles and how they affect and work in magic. What's your thoughts? Do you see that effect in your practice? Have you even thought about it? Is that a part of how you practice, and how you come up with your intention, and how you come up with things that you want to do? Because maybe you've come up with this thought, you're going to work it out, you have a spell or something, you're going to manifest it. But even in the way that it manifests, these principles are related in some kind of way. So leave a comment. What are your thoughts? Do you work with this? Just let me know. Good to have a conversation or some comments going. My thoughts for today. Be blessed. Talk to you soon.